Welcome, everybody, to the PodAskew Podcast. I am CJ, and with me always is my hetero life mate, Rico. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Oh, doing good, man. Also with us, we have a guest today, an old high school friend of mine that I've met at the reunion who you've heard me talk about on the show so far, Mike. He asked us to do the episode on Clerks, and we took it a step further and said, why don't you come do it with us? So here he is.
Hello, PodAskew crew. It's great to be here talking about Clerks, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, glad to have you here, man. Seriously.
Yeah, man, it's great to be here. When I saw you at the reunion, you were telling me about, you're doing a podcast now. I was immediately interested. Ever since you told me, I've been listening to a couple episodes and been a fan ever since.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah. What episodes have you listened to? Because I'm curious.
So, I think I started out with the first one,
Star Horrors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I listened to the Ready Player One episode.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that one.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
What else? The Infinity War.
Yeah. So
that was a two-parter, I guess.
Yeah, it had to be. When we recorded, I think, Rico, what did it end up being? Almost 5 hours of recording between that when we did that?
It was 5 hours, and I also hadn't gotten any sleep the night before.
Yeah, you were up all night.
We were doing like an early episode or something for both of us, and then as soon as I was done, I slept all night. And
for like a day. Yeah.
Yeah. I was also still like I need the rest from recovering from like coming all that much from watching Infinity War. So like I need like a serious break.
It was well, see, we hadn't worked out all the bugs yet, Mike, so yeah. we now have a set time we record every week, with some exceptions like tonight because of the Eagles game. And
That's
yes, right. I know, Rico, you hate the fucking Eagles.
Go Birds.
No, he doesn't. No. It's not the it's not the team he hates. He's not a sports guy. He throws the line from the Big Lebowski at me that the dude says, and it's in reference to the Eagles, the band, but he loves throwing the line at me.
All right. You're missing out.
The fucking Eagles, man.
He's just not a sports guy. Rico's not much of a sports person, so
that's all right.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. But yeah, so I forget what I was saying. Shit. Oh, in that same realm, my apologies to the PodAskew fan base for sitting through the New Year's Eve episode. And if you have not yet, here is my genuine recommendation. If you want to hear someone fall off the cliff, listen to the whole fucking episode. If not, stop after the countdown, because it just goes downhill after that thing.
Well, I'm looking forward to listening to it, so.
How many drinks did you have that night? You only had two, right?
Two. But I had 2 full rocks glasses of whiskey. Full rock, like I didn't, yeah.
I mean, I've seen you drink a lot. I mean, not a lot, but I've seen you drink. And I've seen you drunk. But I've never seen you that fucking drunk from 2 glasses of whiskey, where it was like, dude, I really want you to eat a sandwich. Like, no, you need to eat something.
You had Debbie force feed me chicken nuggets on the episode at one point.
I remember. I'm glad you do.
I don't remember. I remember now because I've listened to it when I edited, but anything from the countdown forward is not a memory.
There were a couple times where Steph and I were like really concerned, and then you were like, I was like, this is on air. Like, are you gonna edit this? And you're like, fuck you. We're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and I didn't. I left it in there. It's my own demise, and I left it there.
Kind of a belligerent drunk, you know that?
Yeah, I realized that. It was actually a hard listen for me, but what are you gonna do? It's entertainment. I'm sure that people will find humor. Yeah, I'm
sure it was sobering.
Yeah, nice choice of words there, buddy. I like it. But yeah, it was what it was, and look, it was not meant to be a traditional PodAskew episode. We said that from jump. It was meant to be more like a bunch of friends hanging out, drinking, and talking, and that's what it was.
Well, Rico, you got to celebrate New Year's Eve twice, I guess, right? East Coast and West Coast.
Yeah, I did. I celebrated New Year's for CJ at 9:00 our time.
Yeah,
and then I went to the bar around the corner from my house where my friend Michael also runs a kitchen 1 day a week or 2 days a week, and then I went and helped him wash some dishes just to get him out of there because it's New Year's Eve, and he wanted to like get the fuck out of there and start drinking as soon as possible. And so we got and then like when I was washing dishes, I had to take a shit. So I'm like, oh God, I really got to take a shit. And it was like 5 minutes from New Year's Eve. So I'm like, I ran to the bathroom, took a shit as fast as possible, walked down, ran out. 75. Dude, I feel like 2018 lasted about 10 fucking years. I don't even know what year it is right now.
Had to get out that last 2018 shit, so.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It was like, it's time to go! Let's go!
Only you, buddy. Only you. But, no, it was a good time. Look, listening back to it, I was able to laugh, too. So I hope it was enjoyable to sit. I mean, you knew I was safe. Deb was here, so, you know.
I didn't know you were safe. I was worried about you walking to your fucking couch or bed.
Apparently, I didn't do that very well.
In the toilet. I didn't know if you were safe. We were concerned.
Yeah, no, I was good. I was all right. I mean, I was good in the sense that I was safe, but
I mean,
yeah.
fucking.
I spent the next day
I
laying
mean,
on
fucking Deb. We were concerned because Debbie had like a fucking arm that had like full of leprosy. You were fucking falling down, and we didn't know if she was able to pick you up and take you to the fucking bed, unless she like lured you with chicken fucking nuggets.
Oh man. Oh, it was a rough day. I spent the next day laying on the couch all day watching Knight Rider marathon.
But then I kept saying, you know what? He's a grown-ass man. He's going to fall. He's going to fall.
Yeah, and I did.
You fell?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Face first into my toilet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I didn't puke. I'm very proud of that fact. Did not puke. So, moving forward, so a couple things I want to talk about real quick before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode. I want to thank a guy named Chris from the Faces and Aces Las Vegas podcast. He had me on as a guest yesterday. I spent 2 hours talking about being adopted and the fact that my family's from Vegas and sharing that whole story. So that was fun. And he's a fun guy, Rico. We need to have him on the show. He wants to be a guest on PodAskew, but I wanted to talk to you about it first. But he's a good dude. I think he'd be a good guest.
Of course. I want to listen to the episode first.
Yeah, well, he does his show a little bit different than we do, so it might be a couple months before it airs. So I'll let you know. But if you're talking about in general, then by all means, his show is more about things to do in Vegas and things that are off strip, so the non-touristy Vegas things to do and exploring that part of Vegas. But he's very much into our world of Kev and pop culture and Star Wars and all that and Infinity War. Like he's a huge fan of our show right now. He's really enjoying it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He found us because I tweeted to him about the Vegas thing. But he started listening, and he loves the show, and he's planning to listen to all of them. He's on episode 5 right now, and working his way. At least the last time I talked to him, he was on 5 and working his way through. So yeah, we got a fan.
What other episodes have you gone through? Out of curiosity, Mike.
I don't know, how many episodes do you have right now? I probably listened to about half of them. I would think.
We've got 32 episodes plus 5 bonus episodes that aren't actually numbered. They're like little mini things.
Yeah, well, I just listened to the Christmas episode.
Oh, you did listen to Yuletide Yak Yucks?
Yeah.
That's good.
You did a lot of short ones, too, so I listened to like a bunch of them.
Those are
only a couple.
Ones.
Yeah. But, I kind of just like cherry-picked, I didn't really go in order. I kind of just like went by the subject.
What did you think of the Stan Lee tribute episode that we did? Did you hear that one?
I don't think... Did I listen to that one?
Excelsior is the title of it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I listened to that one yet.
Yeah,
I think I'm too bummed to listen to it.
Right. We literally recorded the day he passed. I ran home from work. I was like, Rico, we got to put something on tape. So we did.
Yeah.
But well, good, man.
It's in the queue.
It's in the queue. There you go. Queue. You got a favorite of the ones you've heard so far?
I like the Ready Player One episode.
That seems to be, yeah. He's a big fan of the book and the movie, Rico. Like, we were talking, we were at the bar, like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, no, it was like 2 weeks ago, maybe? Yeah.
2 weeks, maybe? Yeah. And we were talking about Ready Player One, and he was telling me the differences between the book and the movie and that whole thing.
Huge differences. Differences. I mean, obviously, the guts of it is still the same and everything like that. There's a video game, virtual reality video game. The creator dies,
Right.
3 keys. All that stuff is the same, but, a lot of the details are different.
And I think I said this on the episode, but I'll say it again since you're here. But like, I think since Ernie Klein was on set and integral to the screenplay, like, it's okay that they made the changes they did because he gave his blessing to all of it. So it's not like they just
and that's fine because you get 2 different experiences.
Right.
But having read the book first, and I literally finished the book the next day at 9 a.m. Went to go see the movie. So I think maybe. Just finishing the book and then immediately going to see the movie maybe kind of threw me off a little bit.
Possibly, yeah.
So maybe that had something to do with it. But I love the movie. I thought the movie was great. But I thought the book was, 1,000 times better.
And a lot of people,
in the old cliche of, people saying that. But
yeah. Rico,
what was your favorite? No, I don't want there to be too much overdraft and lag, so I'm just letting him talk. Okay. I wanted to know what your favorite pop culture reference in the movie was.
In the book, it has to. It's kind of a spoiler, I guess, say.
No, don't worry about that.
So in the movie, they do a movie challenge. It's The Shining.
Yeah.
But in the book, which is the final key, he has to reenact Monty Python's Holy Grail.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that is the final thing he has to do to retrieve the final key.
So instead of adventure, it's the Holy Grail.
Does he do adventure? I think adventure is in the
but it's not the third key because in the movie it's the third key is adventure.
Yeah, see, it's different because it's not just one thing to retrieve the key. It's kind of
multiple challenges.
Multiple challenges,
okay.
Yeah. But the Holy Grail part is the final challenge. So he has to reenact the entire movie of Holy Grail. And that, once I heard that, Holy Grail is the number one comedy.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion. So yeah, once they did that, it was great. For the movie, I was a big fan of Ninja Turtles growing up, so they did Ninja Turtles in there.
Yeah, but it was the fucking.
Was it the new ones or the?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it would have been better if it was the '90s cartoon Turtles instead of the Megan Fox ones, because that's what it was.
Yeah. Let's see, what else did I like about the movie?
You mean these Ninja Turtles?
He can't see you.
Which ones? The old 90s?
He's got a shirt that's got the '90s cartoon.
Oh, okay.
It's got looks like Raphael.
I still had my '90s Ninja Turtles up until a couple years ago, and I just gave them to my nephew.
There you go.
Because he was a big Ninja Turtles guy, so I was just you can have them. I'm these are original. These are from late '80s, early '90s.
Have you seen the Honda commercial?
Yes. Yeah, and it's the original voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Do you guys remember who voiced Donatella in the movie?
Yeah.
In the movie?
It was Corey Feldman.
Was that Corey Feldman?
Yeah, he did.
Very good.
He did the first one.
Yeah.
Oh shit! You're talking about the You're talking about the live action.
And the third one.
You're talking about the live action one from '89, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, because it was an animated one. It came out in the early 2000s, I think, and then it was the later one with Megan.
It was
Fox.
just called TMNT.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Corey Feldman does Donatello the first one and the third one.
No shit, I did not know that.
I didn't even see the third one. That was the samurai one, right?
Yeah, that's when they're transported like turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually was better than the second one.
Oh, really?
I thought so. Yeah.
It might be a weird occurrence where because I think the video game Turtles in Time that was Super Nintendo, I think that was a spin-off of the third movie. And the game Turtles in Time is amazing.
It is. But I think the game came out before the movie. I'm pretty certain. Hey, we got our fact checker sitting right next to you. Tell her to look it up.
She's playing Assassin's Creed, man. She's not.
There's a pause button.
Fuck about the turtle.
There's a pause button.
No, there's not. Not where her. Not the way she's doing it.
Anyway, Yeah, I like those first 3 ones better than any of the remake Turtle movies. The
I'd
TMNT
agree.
one was okay, but yeah, as a whole.
I would say the first one, is
Oh,
by far the best one. Secret of the Use, the second one it's okay.
Am I-
They kind of like screw the pooch when they could have had Bebop and Rocksteady. Instead, you get Tokar and Razar or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
You
that,
know,
Rico?
I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Kevin Smith is in TMNT.
I don't know. You're looking
I'm
it
gonna
up.
double check.
Okay.
I'm fact checker for some reason today.
The one little piece of trivia I'll give before we get into Clerks and stuff is that the pizza delivery guy from the second one from the
Kino.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Was the guy in the suit for Michelangelo in the first one.
Oh, okay.
So that's my little piece.
I
of
got
trivia.
one better.
Of course you
in
do.
the-
You
in the
always have
very
one better.
first one, do you remember when Raphael's chasing Casey Jones?
Yeah.
And then he gets hit by a taxi?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the passenger in the taxi car is the guy who plays Raphael. So essentially, it's Raphael hitting Raphael.
That's funny. Okay.
I got
And
another. I got
and he
one
said,
too.
"What the hell was that?"
I got another trivia for you for that
Sure.
for that movie.
Go for it.
One of the kids that's like in like Shredder's lair or whatever, kind of showing like the
Sam
other
Rockwell.
Yes.
No shit.
Yeah. He's probably like 15 in the
It
movie,
was his
17.
first movie.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're playing famous actors in young role, then what movie was Elijah Wood in when he was like 6? Famous fucking movie before he was ever a Hobbit.
The Good Son? He wasn't
No.
6 in that. Oh,
Back to the Future Part 2.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
There you go.
You mean you got to use your hands?
That's a baby's toy.
That's
So,
right.
All right. So, side note.
side
in
note.
TMNT, it actually does have Kevin Smith is in it.
As what? Himself?
I'm looking. Let's see. It's got a crazy cast. You got James Earl Taylor, Nolan North as Raphael, Mitchell Whitfield as Donatello, Mikey Kelly as Michelangelo, Chris Evans as Casey Jones. So Captain America
No
plays Casey
shit.
Jones. Sarah Michelle Gellar. So you got Buffy playing April O'Neil.
Okay.
Patrick Stewart as Max Winters. I don't
Who's Max
know
Winters?
what.
Yeah, who is Max Winters?
He was like the businessman who turned out to be the immortal warlord Yodel. Yodel?
I don't remember that.
No, I don't.
John DiMaggio. All right. Kevin Smith as a diner cook, an unnamed cook at a diner where Night Watcher fights the Jersey Devil.
Why not the Jersey Devil? When we
Oh,
get
and
to
Lawrence-
it,
Lawrence
Right,
Fishburne is the narrator.
when we get to it, because we're going to talk about Clerks 1, 2, and the animated series, the amount of famous people that actually contributed to that animated series is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And Chris
I
from
know
that.
one main one.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a bit. And Chris from that Faces and Aces Las Vegas podcast wanted me to make sure that we definitely reference the flying car, but my disc 2 is fucked up, so I don't remember the flying car. So I hope one of you guys can back me up.
I saw the flying car, and I even told you about the flying car on a previous episode.
I
And
don't
you-
doubt that.
But I think it's on YouTube. So if at some point one of us has to go to the bathroom or I need to go have a cigarette break, we can all watch it, or
That
we can
works.
watch it live on the thing too.
So, one more thing about that guy from the other show. He has another podcast that's been defunct for a while that he's resurrecting called the Dave Podcast. And it's where they talk about famous people with the first name Dave. And I convinced him to do a whole episode on Steve Dave. So they're going to do a Steve Dave episode, which I'm curious to hear. I don't know what they'll talk about, but the guy that he does it with is funny as shit. So I'm sure they'll come up with something funny.
He
But
only does Dave's.
only Dave's, yeah. They got, yeah.
Are you a Kids in the Hall fan at all?
I am not. So
Oh no. Well, Bruce McCullough, he's one of the Kids in the Hall, and one of his skits was it was a song that he did, and it was called "These Are the Daves I Know."
Okay,
And
maybe that's what inspired it.
Yeah, it should be his theme song for all I know.
Yeah, you got to be careful with theme songs.
I know.
Right, yeah, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We had to get our own theme music.
Yeah, and I still go and use other stuff in the, wait till you hear the post-credit scene for New Year's Eve.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
CJ puking into the toilet.
No. That would have been great, though. I should have done that. I should have fake puking and then have you yell, damn it. That would have been great. I should have thought
No,
of
just
that.
you face planting, I'm guessing.
Yeah. All right. So.
Before we go on, I want to actually say, CJ, thank you for the Wawa.
Oh, you got that. Good.
We got.
What did you think?
Yeah.
Have you had some yet?
I definitely have had some. It's pretty. It jacks me up more than I thought. It actually kind of gave me a headache because I think I had way too many cups.
Sorry.
No. I just didn't know it was going to be fucking like potent. And
did I send you the dark roast or the Colombian? I don't remember.
You sent me Colombian, but
Colombian,
still,
okay, yeah.
Colombian, like, also could be something else.
No, it's not that.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
Man, I drink Wawa coffee exclusively. That's my drug of choice.
Yeah, I didn't get to sleep until 5:30 in the morning last night.
What else is new?
That's fair.
I mean, that's not uncommon for you, dude. So.
Well, I was also fucking playing a lot of Lego, so.
Did you finally 100% that game? Did you find
and then we moved on to years 5 to
brick?
7.
What?
Yeah, we fucking found. The whole thing was we realized that there was a golden brick. I could hear Mike's eyes rolling right now.
My eyes are rolling right now.
I'm just basking in the Eagles' victory still. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we succeeded, and then we moved on to the next game, and Steph does not like it. I'm like, fuck it. We started. We got to finish it.
Harry Potter or a different Lego game?
Harry Potter, 5 to 7.
5 to 7. Okay. By the way, Deb and I are rewatching them in preparation to do the Harry Potter episode. So I don't know when we'll do it, but we're gonna do it. So.
Does that include the Fantastic Beasts ones?
Hopefully. I mean, we'll have to make that call depending on what we've seen, but maybe.
I still haven't seen The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Neither have we. So we might have to just leave those off.
Creed. I missed a lot of fucking movies I really wanted to see.
So did I.
I'm probably going to see Aquaman maybe tomorrow night.
My next movie, well, the next one I'm getting in the Blu-ray is Bohemian Rhapsody next month. So. But I already saw that. So anyway, speaking of movies, let's talk about the movie that brought us together in the first place. Well, sort of. And that would be Clerks, the original.
Oh, I thought it was Ask Gobbler's 97.
No, Big Booty 7. Come on, get it right.
Ah, shit.
Because the first 6 weren't as good. We discussed this.
It was Big Bouncing Booty numbers. It was number 7. Yeah.
7. Yeah.
Big Booty just by itself is just not as funny.
Right. Anyway, how did we already go there? We haven't. So
we always go there.
Yeah, we do.
We always go to the Big Bouncing Booties.
Oh, God. All right. So, well, Mike, you're our guest, and it was your suggestion for us to do a Clerks devoted episode. So, and you,
Mike, do our show for us.
Yeah, we're just gonna sit back. It's the Mike Skew episode this week. No, but you're the one that suggested it to us, and you mentioned to me it's probably your favorite comedy. So
it's my favorite Kevin Smith comedy. Yeah, definitely. But it's definitely up there in comedies. Top 3, I would say.
So Python, that, and what?
Let's see. I don't know. It would probably be like Young Frankenstein or.
Okay, all 3 classics. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So
old school.
That said, what makes Clerks of all of Kev's movies? What makes that your favorite? Because like Rico and I have talked about our favorites, and we love Clerks, but it's not either of our favorites.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Mallrats is probably a close second, but Clerks is just I don't know. Came out in 1994. I'm 14 years old. I probably saw it. I didn't see it in the theaters. Me and my friends, did I say theaters wrong?
No, I'm laughing because I know how old Rico was in 1994.
Oh, yeah. Where were you? Like
3.
3? Okay. Yeah, so like 1994, I'm 14. I probably saw, the year after when it came out on VHS and watched it once and then just kept on watching it repeatedly. And the fact
until
that
the tape wore down.
Yeah, pretty much. And the fact that it's like, it takes place in New Jersey.
Yep.
It's even better.
Yep.
Even though it's North Jersey, but
yeah, fucking North Jersey.
It's okay. But it captures the New Jersey attitude and like the sarcasm so well that I just related to it. Like the humor, not so much the dialogue. Kevin Smith is definitely more intellectual than I am when it comes to speaking. But I don't know. It's just like, and all the one-liners. Oh my God, I could quote that movie line for line, word for word, and I probably quote it at least once a day.
Well, and that brings me to a point, Rico. By the way, we're dangerously close to our 37th episode. We need to do something special for that.
I wish I was 37, just so I could say I'm 37.
Oh, I ran that the entire year that year. But
like I told you when you texted me and stuff, that I said, okay, you're not allowed to drink.
I'm drinking right now.
No, I'm saying for the 37th episode, you're not allowed to get drunk.
I'm not getting drunk tonight. I'm having a beer, and that's what's left of it.
You have to drink 37 beers.
37 beers.
Oh my God.
I'd be dead.
All right, 37 shots.
That'd be worse. Yeah, I would die on 37 shots, so let's not do that either. But we still need to do something, Rico, even if we just acknowledge it in some way. I mean, it'd be cool. I've actually thought about maybe holding this one off and releasing it as the 37th episode. Maybe.
I was going to suggest that. The other alternative is maybe doing we watch Clerks and do an audio commentary.
That's what we should do, and I'll tell you why. Because if I hold this till then, we don't have anything to release next week. So I don't have anything in the can right now. This is the only thing we have, so this will have to be it. So we'll do that, Rico. I think that's a good idea. Let's do that. Mike, if you want to come back for that, I don't know how we'd make it work visually, but we'll talk. Unless you just like sat right there. But anyway.
I actually watched it again this morning.
There you go. Yeah, I didn't watch, so I did go back and rewatch the animated series, because that's part of what I want to talk about tonight, and I also rewatched 2. I didn't need to rewatch 1. Like, I know 1 so well at this point, I didn't need to rewatch it. It's not that I didn't want to, but I just, from time and life and things.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But, yeah, so, just to give you a quick recap, my favorite, actually, is Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy's solid, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I just love that movie. It's not as good, like I don't know if you'd even call that a comedy. It is, but it's not. You know what I mean? So if you're talking about his comedies, my favorite's probably actually Dogma.
Okay. Dogma's a great one.
But, yeah. But that doesn't make Clerks or Mallrats a bad call. Rico's favorite, why don't you tell him what yours is, because I know what it is.
Can I guess?
Wait, he wants to guess.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So your favorite Kevin Smith movie of all?
Yeah.
Okay, out of all of them?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll say Mallrats. No?
No.
Way off.
Way off.
Yeah. Go ahead, tell him, Rico.
My favorite out of all Kevin Smith films, not saying comedy, just all of his films, I think I love Red State.
I was just going to say
Red
State.
Okay, but what's the one that you always tell me when we talk about this stuff?
When we're doing comedies, it's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Okay. That's the one I was waiting for you to say. Yes, okay. Red State is a great movie. I agree. And probably his best movie.
I'd have to go back and revisit that because I only saw it once, probably the year it came out, which is probably 5 years ago.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I'll let you borrow mine if you don't.
No, I do.
Have you seen Tusk or Yoga Hosers?
I saw Tusk. I haven't seen Yoga Hosers.
Okay. Yeah, I have them both. He's got a signed copy. He met Kev. Well, you didn't actually. Well, you kind of met Kev. You talked to him.
I went to a Q&A before. So I went to go see Hollywood Babylon, and we got there early. And my stepfather and I said, "Oh shit, there's an early Q&A with Kevin. Let's go to that." So we went to that. So we went to the Q&A first, and Q&A with Kevin is like
3 hours.
He answers for 3 hours, and he answers 2 questions.
Right.
So I was the second person to ask the question, and I was up on the balcony up at the top. And because I figured I didn't have anything to fucking lose. And I had.
You don't have to tell the whole story. It's
no,
on
but
tape
I
already.
brought a copy of Yoga Hosers with me, which
Yeah.
is an awful film. And I made a sort of a whole joke. It is. Even
It's not
he
awful.
sort of acknowledges it.
No. Yeah, he also said Mallrats was an awful film, and it's not. And he also said Jersey Girl is an awful film, and it's not.
I've never seen Jersey Girl.
It's not bad. It's not his best. It's more.
It's him doing a family film.
Yeah, it's his most family-friendly film he's had, and that's still pushing the limits because it's Kev.
Yeah.
But comparatively speaking, Yoga Hosers is his first PG-13 movie, though, if I remember correctly.
No, Capo. No, wait, no. Yeah, you're right. Yoga Hosers is. Yeah, for some reason I thought Capo was PG-13.
Even if it was, he didn't write that, so I don't count it.
Well, a lot of people shouldn't count that movie.
Exactly. So,
Bruce Willis doesn't.
Yeah, right. You don't want to see it. It's
Yeah.
it's okay, but it's what caused him to hate Bruce Willis. Yeah, the way he was treated during the filming.
Well, they did Die Hard together, right? They did a Die Hard,
Right,
movie
but
together?
Kevin didn't direct it, so he only had a handful of scenes with him, so it wasn't enough to kind of bring out the bad in Bruce. But
Okay.
the stories of him and the way he was when he had to direct him through a whole movie, yeah.
Okay.
If you early Smodcast, he talks about it, like early Smodcast, early.
He's just difficult to work with, Bruce Willis.
Very.
I guess? Okay.
Very difficult, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then when he's, my other thing is when him and Ralph are trashing Lovitz. After the whole thing with the Lovitz Comedy Club thing. Because that's what they used to do in Babylon. They used to do John Lovitz's comedy club thing, and Lovitz turned into a complete dickhead.
John Lovitz turned into a dickhead?
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe.
No.
Really?
Yeah, maybe I'm looking at the world through some Kevin colored glasses, but I tend to believe it.
Okay.
So, but you know what? We don't get any of these movies without Clerks, and to shoot a movie like that for what, $27,500 or whatever it was, and what were you saying, Mike? 21 days.
21 days with 2 reshoots, I believe.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I think the original, when he first shot it, it didn't have that much music in it.
No,
you didn't get the Alice in Chains and the Soul Asylums and everything like that. That didn't come along until Miramax bought it, and then they spent even more money
promoting it.
Well, no, getting the music like Alice in Chains,
which
on the soundtrack.
Not to go off on a complete tangent, but like I said, I went back and I watched the animated series, and I went back and watched 2, and animated series starts with Miramax coming across the screen, and 2 starts off with the Weinstein Company coming across the screen, and I got to tell you, I got like a feeling in the pit of my stomach of ugh,
an eerie chill.
Yeah. It was hard to see those. I don't think I've watched any of the early stuff since all the Weinstein stuff.
There's nothing you could do about that.
No.
We were all in the dark about that, and
and we've talked about it on the show, but I don't know if you're aware of it, Mike. Kevin has chosen to any proceeds he gets, any royalty checks he gets from any of the Weinstein stuff. And even if he doesn't get any proceeds, once a month he donates, I think, was it $2,000, Rico, or $1,000? Do you remember?
I think it was $2,000.
$2,000 to a women in film charity thing, and every month, and he's doing it for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So, while it does gives you that weird stomach churning thing, you can look at it from you know what, at least he's doing something about it, positive. So.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going to stop watching Tarantino movies.
No,
because,
no, I'm not going to either. But it doesn't mean that it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it hurts a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So, and I'm not even affected directly by some of the things that were done. So I'm sure it hurts others worse. But anyway, I don't even know where to go. Rico, help me out here.
Shot it for over 21 days.
What was the budget again? It was like 27,000.
Yeah, 27. I'm looking up right now. I'll get the exact number.
Yeah, I think he maxed
it's on
out
the
like
budget of,
20
like,
some credit
like
cards. Or
27
whatever.
grand.
He maxed out like 3. I think.
Oh, I thought it was even more than that.
Oh, it might have been. It might have been.
He sold a bunch of comic books. I know that.
Well,
He
here's
sold,
the one.
I think he sold his entire collection. They had to buy
I think
it back.
yeah.
mean,
I think it was his whole collection.
Okay.
Yeah. The one thing that's interesting, I heard this story later, is so there was the year he shot that, the year they were supposed to shoot it, I should say, there was a really bad hurricane that hit Jersey. I think it was Andrew,
Okay.
because you and I were both living here then, and both his cars got destroyed from the flooding from that hurricane, and him and Jay Muse, because they both own both cars, like they both own the titles or whatever, went over to FEMA and claimed the cars, and some of the money they got from those cars went to help fund clerks.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
So
I think he got a loan from his parents for like $1,000 or something, which was like a lot for them.
yeah. Well, because he tells stories all the time about like he got the ad whatever the big fucking walker from
Yeah.
Jedi is called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. And his mom was like, "That's your what was it? This is your Christmas, your birthday, and next Christmas's presents. Like you're getting it all right now if you get the ad." So, so according to Wikipedia,
Wait. Here was the kicker to that was that it came from someone else. It was like his grandma Lillian or something like that.
right. I remember that. Yeah.
And then like it was like Grace and Donald were both like, oh yeah, so he like missed out on like a birthday and a Christmas gift because his grandmother got it for him, and they lied to him.
That's funny. All right. So you asked about the budget, Rico. It is $27,575
Wow.
pre-Miramax, because as Mike mentioned, once Miramax got a hold of it, they put more money into it to get the Alice in Chains music and some of these other songs. Now, some of the songs did make it. Like I think the What a Wookiee is from the original cut.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Berserker is from so.
And then the opening song.
Yes. Yeah.
The montage where Dante's getting ready to go into work.
Yeah. Berserker might be one of the things I quote the most.
Yeah.
I have a question. When it comes to that part where Dante's getting up for work, is he drinking like milk in a sugar bowl?
I think he's eating cereal. No, I guess he does.
No, it was. It's not a sugar bowl. I think it's actually like cocoa. I think it had like powdered cocoa in it, and he pours the milk into the lid with the cocoa, and then he drinks it out of the lid. Yeah.
But it looks like he sprinkles like sugar in it. Like he looks like
that's the cocoa.
I think it's the cocoa. I think it's powdered cocoa. He's pulling out of the base of the thing and putting it in with the milk in the lid, and then like so basically making like a quick chocolate milk, for lack of a word.
All right.
That's what I always interpreted.
Maybe it was instant coffee.
I don't think so. I mean, I see where you could get that, but I don't think so because there's no heating element. I'm trying to see if it actually says anywhere in the wiki here as to what that is. So, no, I don't.
Well, the jar that he takes it out of is like that pink.
I mean,
what's that, Rico?
Yeah, that was the one part of the movie where I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would say it's probably coffee because he is waking up at like 5 a.m. to go into work.
Right, but there's no heating element, so it's cold. Like the coffee grinds, we'd be drinking coffee grinds in milk. Like that's the part that doesn't.
They could have cut that part though. Like you see him like spreading the sugar in, and it's like a quick cut, and it's like the cup is already at his mouth.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to watch that again. You might be right. It's been a while since I've seen that part. As well as I know the movie, that's the one thing that I don't like. Remember?
Yeah. Well, who knows? He wakes up, he drinks some shit, and he goes to work.
Yeah, right. I did a job like that briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I told you I used to work at the local county bookstore.
Right.
And while you
guys are doing it, I'm bringing up the script.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
See if it says it in there. Yeah. and I used to work at one of the satellite locations, the one down in the city by the river. I'm trying not to say the name of the town. And I'd have to be there. I have to be in there at 6, but I was the only person to work that store because it was so small. So I'd be the only worker, and I felt like Dante so many mornings. Just leaned over the counter like, ugh.
I bet.
There were days that people I knew who knew the movie, and they'd come in. I'd be like, I'm not even supposed to be here today, even though I was. But yeah, so
all right, CJ, you are the winner. It's interior kitchen. Seconds later, chocolate milk mix is heaped into a tumbler. 1 scoop, 2 scoops, 3 scoops, 4 scoops. Dante gulps his breakfast while feeling inside the closet for some clothes. Some chocolate milk spills on the floor. So all this time it was fucking chocolate milk. I had no idea. I literally thought he just took a bunch of milk and sugar. And just like dumped sugar and milk.
Yeah, I always figured it was the chocolate milk. But I could see where you were getting yours from, Rico. Don't get me wrong. That's not me saying, you're just flat out right. The only thing I would argue against would be the coffee because there was no heating element shown. But Mike, you got a point. There's a cut. So I think there's a cut. So,
but this also raises the question of, do you like powder cocoa when you make a chocolate milk, or do you like Hershey syrup?
I don't make chocolate milk, so yeah. I guess powdered because I'll do hot chocolate, and I usually get the instant, in the individual pack that you dump out. So
right.
Yeah. Rico,
I do both. I mean, if I had both, I would do both. But I don't ever really normally have Hershey syrup, so I usually just do the Nesquik powder shit.
Okay.
But I put like a fuck ton of it in. I make it like where it's just like a giant black thing at the bottom and then mix
like that.
Yeah, like but even more than that. Like that much, like more than that. But then like dump the milk and mix it as you have to slowly pour the milk in as you mix it. Otherwise, you just get these random fucking chunks.
Yeah. So he does that, and then he gets to the store like 15 minutes late because it's supposed to open at like 6. I don't think he gets it open till like 6:15, if I recall. One of my favorite parts, and I know it's dumb, but it's like he realizes the newspaper wasn't delivered, so he runs over to that dispenser to get the newspaper, and it ends up giving him his quarterback, and so he ends up basically stealing newspapers. I thought that was fun. So.
And that is the highlight of his day.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It all goes to shit.
Do you think he kept that quarter, or did he put it back in the...
he put it back. You watch him put it back, yeah. So, and then you go right into where the... and you don't know at first, but the Chuli's gum guy shows up and puts the diseased lung on the...
Well, first he finds out that he can't open the shutters.
Oh, well, that's before anything.
Which is huge.
Yeah, well...
For the plot of the movie, I mean...
And...
Kevin Smith shooting it.
And do you know why? Do you know why they didn't open the shutters? Why?
Yeah. Well, because he had to shoot it at night.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Bunch of savages in this town, I swear.
Damn right. Fucking Leonardo, North Jersey people. So, for the cast, obviously, you've got Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson. Those are your, I guess if you have big names in that movie, those are your big names. Because there's no one... The most famous person in this movie at this point is Kevin Smith himself as Silent Bob. And probably Muse as Jay, so...
Yeah.
There
was no Affleck yet.
Right, which, by the way, Okay, have you seen or heard us talk about our hashtag yet?
No.
Okay, so we are... very badly promoting a hashtag called, because he's starting Jay and Silent Bob reboot, I think this month actually, isn't he, Rico?
Yeah, he I think has just started pre-production.
Yeah, so
he's shooting a reboot to Jay and Silent Bob?
Right, but it's not a reboot in that it's a sequel. It's a direct sequel to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and Hollywood in the story is rebooting Bluntman and Chronic.
Okay,
and they're going to stop the reboot, just like they went to stop the original movie.
Okay,
and there's going to be a whole lot of reboot jokes and things about how Hollywood constantly makes reboots and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, in the spirit of that,
yeah, it's called Bluntman v. Chronic.
What's that?
It's called Bluntman v. Chronic.
Oh, is it really? I didn't hear that. That's
Yeah.
fucking funny as shit.
Is it coming out in 2019?
He's shooting for that, but he said it's possible it could be early 2020, depending on production and all that stuff.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it might be 2020.
It might be. He said he's shooting for this year, but it could be 2020 by the time it comes out. But in the spirit of that, and the fact that Ben Affleck is no longer Batman and divorced from Jennifer Garner, we want him and Kev to be friends.
But that hasn't been confirmed.
No, what hasn't been confirmed?
He's not. He hasn't said he's not. There's not been a confirmation yet.
Okay, there's
been so many conflicting things. He has not said it, and
he has
Matt
not
Reeves
said it.
has not said
I feel like
so.
Yeah, but I feel like the studios basically said it. So, that said, we're running this hashtag on Twitter called Kevin Ben Reboot, trying to get them to be friends again.
Well,
So
maybe he'll be in the new movie. You never know.
you know what? And that would be awesome. But even if he's not, we just want them to be friends again.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard Kevin talk about Ben, and you can tell he misses him. Like, he has said some not so flattering things, but he's also said some very nice things where you can tell that, like, even if he's not saying it directly, he misses his buddy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as bad as if like Jay was gone, but
Yeah.
it still bugs him. And then when I'm watching Clerks 2 the other day, he shows up with the fucking handlebar mustache and looking like he stepped out of a 1970s porn movie.
He might have.
Yeah, right.
I think he was sporting that mustache for Smoking Aces.
Is that what it was for?
Because he had that same look in Smoking Aces.
Well, I mean, it's just like when Jason Lee shows up as Picklefucker, he's got the My Name is Earl look because he was in the middle of shooting that show at the time. So,
there's a little deep cut reference because in Mallrats, Affleck is always saying "Stop gawking at me."
yeah,
And he also says something similar in Chasing Amy.
yeah,
And his character in Clerks 2 is known as
the
Gawking
gawker.
Guy.
Yeah, the gawking guy, yeah. I saw that when I was watching the credits the other day. By the way, funny note, I know we meant to be talking about 1, but since we're on it, not a funny note from the credits on 2. It's the first time I've let the credits run on 2, because I watched it, and then when the credits started to roll, I got up to go do something, and I come back, and I don't know why this is in the credits, but Kevin listed all his MySpace friends on the credits, and it runs for like 4 minutes of nothing but friends, and it's just a blur list of lines. Like, I almost started getting nauseous. That's how fast it runs at, and it's 4 names across, just scrolling for 4 minutes.
If I remember correctly, I think that was actually part of the contest because he asked his MySpace community or friends or whatever to pick a title for Clerks. Okay. And those were all the people who had contributed. And I think the winner was like the Passion of the Clerks.
Oh,
but he obviously didn't choose it.
Right.
But I've heard that in some countries it's actually known as the Passion of the Clerks.
I've heard that too. I have heard that. So maybe that's where that comes from. I don't know. But it runs at it's like credits typically run at like a regular speed. This thing's running at like light speed. It really it fucks with your eyes after a while if you stare at it long enough. So we'll get back to 2 because there's plenty of things about 2 I want to talk about. But going back to the cast on 1, I have a trivia question for you guys. I want you to try to give me your best guesses. And Rico, no looking because I know you got your phone there, and Mike, I know you have yours, but I'm pretty sure you won't look.
I might have.
We all know who Walt Flanagan is, right? No, I don't need to describe. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
How many people does Walt play in the movie?
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
You know the exact number?
I've got it right here. Yeah.
I'm just gonna guess a number. I can't.
What's that, Rico?
I'm thinking. He played. Can I list them?
If you need to. If you need to, yeah.
He plays the guidance counselor with the eggs.
Okay.
He plays the guy who asked for a pack of cigarettes after the Chuli's gun representative.
Okay.
He plays the guy with the Windex, the jizz mopper.
Yep.
I want to say he's also on the roof for the hockey game. So I'm going to say 4.
He's also the offended customer.
Well, that's the jizz mopper.
Well, that's what,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Rico, you got 3 of the 4. You're right that he's 4, but for listing them, which I wasn't asking to do, but props to you for doing it. You got 3 of the 4. He's not on the hockey thing.
okay, so what the fuck is the 4th?
Well, I'll read you the 4th one because I don't know. I can't think about what this is, but it says cat admiring bitter customer.
Oh, that's the annoying customer one. Cool cat. What's his name? Annoying customer.
Is that?
I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's like one of the best lines of the movie. Yeah.
No, that's a great line in the movie, but I didn't put that together with that title, like
Yeah.
that name. You know,
You don't see the guy's face like at all, and
But that would
it's
make
real
sense.
brief. So
Yeah, but Rico, you got the other 3. It's the jizz mopper. Officially is known as offended customer, but let's not split hairs. It's the same thing.
All right, well, how many roles does Scott Mosier play?
Do you want to guess, or do you want me to tell you?
I think I know. I think it's 2.
That would be wrong. Mike, you want to take a guess?
Scott Mosier, he's the one who crawled up on the roof, right? Is that a?
That's one of them. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to say okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
So that's 1.
I know he plays Willem Black, and he also plays the angry fucking hockey dude who wants to get cigarettes.
Right.
Which is also I think Kevin Smith called it like the only CGI that's in the film, which is not. He's joking. There's no CGI.
Right.
Or it's like practical effects or whatever. And it's Scott Mosier yelling down at Scott Mosier.
Right. Yeah.
But I can't think of.
Well,
I can't think of anybody afterwards.
and to be fair, from what I can see, this 3rd one, I don't think any of us would have gotten. If I didn't have the list in front of me, I wouldn't have got it either. He apparently is one of the angry mourners at Julie Dwyer's funeral when they come running out of the funeral. So, let's not.
So 3 total for him?
3 total for Moser, yeah. But not to discredit Moser, I don't think I count the angry mourner. For me, there's no lines really, or if there is any lines, it's probably inaudible.
Yeah. That's still a credit,
No, it's still credit. I will say, and Rico, you and I both know this, and Mike, you probably know it too, because we're all fans. Willem's name is Willem Black, but in the credits, according to this, I guess because they flushed the character out in later movies, his name is Willem the Idiot Man-Child.
Mm-hmm.
So,
also known as Snowball, right?
Snowball, right.
Yeah.
What's that, Rico?
But here's the thing. There's another Willem Black in Mallrats played by Ethan Suplee.
Right, but according to Kev, it's supposed to be the same character, but Moser didn't want to do it.
So then Kevin said, well, there's just 2 people named Willem Black living in New Jersey.
That's even better, I think.
Yeah, I kind of... Well, considering... we're not supposed to be really doing Mallrats tonight, but considering Mallrats takes place in New Jersey and was shot in Minnesota,
Well, it's also the day before. It's also the day before Clerks. Mallrats is technically a prequel.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah...
A day or 2, maybe, before?
I think it's the day before.
It's the day before because Julie Dwyer died.
And then they have the funeral the following day?
Well, it happens that fast. Mike's got a point. It could be 2 days because it might take that long to get the funeral together, especially in New Jersey.
It could just be a continuity error or whatever.
Right. But
I'm just going with what Kevin said.
Yeah, Kevin has said it's the day before, but I think he was more just trying to put it in order, Rico, so let's not split hairs over days.
I think I'm just trying to be difficult. And...
No, not at all. I don't think anyone's being difficult, period. But my favorite side character might be Olaf, the Russian metalhead, according to this cast, and that's played by a guy named John Harry Westhead, which is, I feel sorry for him having that name. But anyway.
Fuck you, Yankee Blue Jeans.
Yeah.
and he hasn't shown up since in any other movies, have he?
If you look at his IMDb, I think that's his only credit. I'd have to look it up again, but I'm pretty certain that's his only credit.
Huh. I mean, he was such a weird character to throw in and then like have no expansion on like Silent Bob's Russian background or family or lineage. The only clue that I got was that Kevin is like emphasized on Silent Bob is that he gave him a last name, which was like Latarsky, named after John Belushi's character.
Yeah, from Animal House.
All right, here's a trivia question for you. What is Jay's last name
in the movie?
Yeah, what is the character Jay? What is his last name?
I don't know. It doesn't say on the credits here, so I have no idea.
I have no idea.
It's Darius, and he's Rick Darius's little brother.
Oh no shit!
Yeah.
I wonder if they've taken that out of the continuity because it doesn't say it on here. But I'm not arguing with you about that.
I think he put it in Chasing Dogma.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
or at least he just said it. You know, he got tired of people asking. He's like, "Fuck it, Darius."
And that's certainly possible. He could have said it just to shut people the fuck up. So
true.
So what's your favorite moment from the movie? Like, what's your favorite scene, moment, whatever? And it can be cliche, for lack of a better word, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be something unique. It could be
My
37. Yeah.
Well, I think the funniest part is when they're in the video store and the woman is asking Randall if these two videos, she's heard anything about it.
Good call, my friend. That's actually good. So wait,
when he calls her like a cocksmoker or whatever.
Mine.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying that was mine.
Oh, okay, great.
Well, and Rico, not to steal your thunder, but the reason that is, and I don't know if I've shared this with you, Mike, or if you've caught it from listening, but he works in a video store.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, one of the last ones left in the world.
I think that's so cool. Yeah, but like
I've never had that Randall moment because I've never ordered movies on the phone, but I definitely have.
Oh yeah,
I don't do that part, but I've definitely had similar situations like that.
That's funny.
Yeah, but when she walks out and she's like, "Screw you," and she walks out and Randall runs to the door and he opens the door and he's like, "You're not allowed to rent here anymore." And Jay goes like, "Yeah!" That is so New Jersey.
Yes, it is.
It is unbelievable how Jersey that is.
Yes, it is.
And like just hearing that, I laughing out loud, crying. Like I must have rewound that part about 1 million times when I first saw that.
That's funny.
Hands down, the best part.
My favorite part was when he's ordering the porno films.
Yeah.
But then you just remind me of that part, and that you're right. That is. I've rewound that part just to hear Jay go, "Yeah!" so many times.
It's oh my god, Rico! If you lived in Jersey,
yeah,
you would see like just a crazy connection of like. I mean, it's spot on, and that's
really
what
is.
I think that's what I love about this movie. It's so Jersey. It's so 90s. It's so like it came out in the grunge era or whatever, like alternative and music and stuff like that. And it just everything works perfectly for this movie.
I have to agree with you, Mike. I mean, Kevin's always kept a Jersey Central theme to his movies, even if they're not shot. I mean, we joked about Mallrats not being shot in Jersey or whatever, but he still did his best to give it a Jersey vibe, and credit to words due. But this one, of all of them, definitely has the most real Jersey feel.
Yeah.
All of them. Even Jersey Girl, which was shot in New Jersey,
yeah.
which I know you said you haven't seen.
But it's the most like rawest
of
like his movies, obviously. And like, the fact that the acting isn't all that great makes it even better, I think, because it seems more real. It kind of works more like a documentary. Rather than
almost,
I mean, obviously it's not like that, but it could, it really could.
Oh, some of that stuff certainly could happen. Maybe not, the extreme shit, like the guy who gets fucked in the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
But like some of the other stuff,
not a dead guy, but a live guy.
Yeah,
maybe. Not a dead guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's what I love about 2, and I know I keep referencing it, but I guess it's because I just saw it last night. But one of the things I love about 2 is they do a lot of callbacks to the first one, and it makes sense. It's a sequel to the first one. But like, do you remember in the second one when he finds out that Becky's pregnant and it's him and Randall standing outside at the back of the movies talking about it. And Randall says to him at one point, he goes, "How do you, of all people, always have two beautiful women arguing over you?" And it's a direct reference to what happened with Caitlin and Veronica from the first one. So it's...
he calls him a hideous fucking chud.
Well, yeah, but that comes up a couple of times. He calls himself a hideous fucking chud when he's talking to Becky earlier in the office. Like, that seems to be a running theme, that phrase. Because then later on, when they're in the prison, he goes, "She's carrying your hideous chud of a child."
May your first child be a masculine child.
Don't do that when I'm drinking. There's a lot of electronics in front of me.
That's the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, so it... But yeah, I think I don't know what my favorite scene is. There's so many good ones. Like, I love Olaf. I think that's a great scene.
Mm-hmm. That's what makes this movie so great, because there's so many memorable quotes that you can just quote the whole movie, like from beginning to end.
But and to your point, Mike, I like the ones that are like more obscure. Like when he goes, "Do you want something to drink?" "Yeah, I want a Gatorade."
Mm-hmm.
"You're on a Gatorade." "Yeah, I wonder why," or something to that effect. I'm sure I'm fucking up the lines, but you get the point. Like,
glass bottled Gatorades.
Yeah. Oh God, I remember those.
Yeah.
Those were the days. A guy you've heard me talk about from our class, and I used to go and like throw them through the parking lot in the back of our, like, after everyone had gone. Like, it'd be the end of the day, we'd still be there just because we could buy them in our vending machine.
Gatorade.
Yeah. Because we were stupid.
Well, plus we had the 7-Eleven right there too.
I think they sold them in our vending machines.
Maybe.
I think they did.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm trying to think of what my favorite movie. So, like, I like Olaf. I like that part with the after the hockey game.
I love the one part when Randall comes in to the quick stop. It's like one of his like introduction scenes too, and he goes to Dante. He's like, "Guy came in, he was bitching that like the store was closed for 2 hours. He's like, I tore up his membership." Just the way he says, "I tore up his membership." It's so funny. Oh my God, that's another like time where I just had to keep on rewinding it. Like,
I just thought of a great line that I used to use a lot, and I don't use anymore. Where it's I believe in a ruling class, especially because I rule.
Right.
So. Randall honestly makes those movies.
When I spoke to...
What's that?
Well, that's why he has the best lines, because Kevin wrote it for himself. He says, "I can't remember all this dialogue."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dante and Randall, the characters are after Kevin Smith and Brian Johnson from Comic Book Man.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
But he was originally going to play Randall himself.
Kevin Smith was?
Kev was, yeah. And he said, "I can't remember all this fucking dialogue." So
yeah.
He ended up casting Jeff Anderson, and then he played Silent Bob.
Yeah.
Because there's no dialogue except there's many fine women in the world, but only one of them
originally
lasagna.
So he was going to play Silent Bob and Randall?
No, I don't think Silent Bob was going to be a character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, Silent Bob was a character, but he had written it for a friend of his, and his friend is the guy who says "in a row."
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But then he said, "All right, well, I look way bigger than Muse." He's like, "I want someone like, skinny, animated, and big and silent." So he's like, "Well, I'm bigger than him, and I'm, so."
He may not be now.
I'd have to throw him. Right. Yeah, Jesus, fucking Skinny Bob.
Yeah.
I'd have to throw in one more part that's one of my all-time favorites.
Please.
When, honestly, like, it became such a staple for Kevin Smith films, but them talking and arguing about Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back and the Death Stars. I mean, because that, for me, cemented it as, like, okay, this is a movie that I can 100% relate to.
Right.
It's just friends talking about bullshit.
And this might have been the first movie where you actually seen that.
Well, right.
Where you actually had that kind of dialogue, about Star Wars.
There's not really there's not even a maybe about it. He he will tell you that that's why he wrote the movie, because you didn't see stuff like that.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was definitive. That's why I was like,
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's definitively the first movie, but it's definitively why he wrote the movie, because you didn't see that on a regular, if ever. So, what were you going to say, Rico? You look like you were about to say something.
I was just thinking, like, I can't even think of any other Star Wars references pre-Clerks.
There may not be.
Like, even a lightsaber. Like, even, like, Luke, I am your thought. Like, nothing. I can't think of any other movie that's pre-93, pre-Clerks. Because then it became a staple. I mean, were people just, like, maybe, like, afraid of referencing Star Wars? Like, Lucas was going to sue them or something?
You beat me to
Kevin's
it. I was
like, what did you sue me for?
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was about to ask you the same question. I think that's certainly a possibility. And Kev just dove into the deep end of the pool and survived. So it opened the door.
Kevin was just like, what's it going to do? Take all my 27,000? Like, go ahead.
Yeah, right? I mean, shit. And it turns out, I don't know if he became friends with Lucas, but he got free range to use ILM and go up to the ranch. So
he got friendly. I mean, he did all his sound looping of like Dogma and whatnot.
Yeah.
At Lucas Ranch many times. I mean, he got married at Lucas Ranch.
Yeah. Him and Jen.
I'd have to say another great part is when they're playing hockey on the roof and the one guy hits the ball off the roof and then they're looking for another. Mosier hits the ball off the roof, and then Dante goes, any balls down there? Yeah, but the biggest berry you ever seen, Dingleberry.
Yeah.
So Jersey.
And and it's so Jay, too. Like, the funniest part about Jay is, like, Kev tells his story all the time, and I don't think you listen to as many of his podcasts as Rico and I do, but he says all the time he wrote the role for Jay, and basically just wrote down shit Jay says, but put it into like a dialogue form. Mm-hmm. And then Jay's reading the script and goes, I don't think I can do this. And Kev turned to him, he's like, what? It's you!
Yeah, this is verbatim.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't say this stuff. It's just so funny.
I think Jay said, like, why would I say Snoochie Boochies? And Kevin's like, I don't know. Why do you say Snoochie Boochies?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said to him. They've talked about it on a couple different shows. My favorite time they talk about it is one of the Get Olds. It's one of the early Jay and Silent Bob Get Olds. They talk about it. And Jay finally kind of, like, I guess for lack of a better phrase, gives in and goes, yeah, I guess he was right. But, like, it's funny. Let's, before we get to the animated, let's move on to 2, I think. Because I think that's the bigger draw, if you will. People know that movie more than they know the animated. Because the animated series, sadly, I think, 3 of the episodes aired, Rico?
I think so. I've only seen the 3 episodes.
Right. They made 6, but I think only 3 of them ever aired on television.
I hear they aired it out of order. The first time they aired it, I heard they aired, like, the 4th episode first.
Oh, I
don't...
when
it first, like, originally aired, I was reading Wikipedia today, so it could be a lie, for all I know.
Well, I have the wiki right here, so I'll look.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But they were saying something like NBC or ABC. What channel was it on when it first?
ABC.
So ABC ran the 3rd or 4th episode first, and then they the next week or whatever they ran the original 2nd episode.
Well,
that's what I read. I don't know.
Okay, so only 2 episodes actually ever aired according to this.
Oh, okay.
And you're right. Well, at least according to the wiki, because wiki can be edited. But according to this, the 4th episode was the first one ever aired, and then the 2nd one was aired.
Yeah.
And then it got pulled from whatever.
Yeah.
And the 2nd episode is a flashback episode, so
to the first one.
kind of
to the original first.
It's kind
one.
of brilliance.
Oh,
like they made a whole flashback thing for shit that like they just like basically made reference.
It's not only a flashback to the first episode. There are flashbacks to like 5 minutes earlier in that same episode. In the, they'll say they said something. Do you remember when we got stuck in the cooler? Because that whole episode, they're stuck in the cooler behind the drinks. That's the concept of the whole episode. and they tell different stories while they're stuck back there. And then at one point they go, "Do you remember when we got stuck in the cooler?" And that was like
the beginning of the episode.
The beginning of the episode, yeah. So,
did you guys ever watch or ever see the Clerks TV series, the pilot they made?
Oh my god, with Jim Brewer. I tried.
Yeah.
I have not seen this.
Oh my god, it's terrible. I couldn't even finish it, Rico. It has Jim Brewer in it, who I guess kind of plays the Randall character.
He plays Randall, as far as I know.
Is his name Randall in it? Because I'm
looking it up. I'm trying to find it now because they only have. Hold on, let me see.
And it was only that pilot episode.
All right, so Clerks, the TV show, was produced in '95. The pilot only referenced the character names and starred none of the cast in the original film, contained no foul language except words suitable for a TV feature rating, and did not feature Silent Bob.
Yeah.
The character of Jay was featured, prompting Smith to point out that he owned the character rights to both Jay and Silent Bob for the purposes of featuring them in separate films. The producer's solution was to change the character's name to Ray instead of Jay.
Oh, Jesus.
Kevin Smith was unaware of the production of the series until casting was underway. Smith had been in production with Mallrats at the time and attempted to become involved with the series, but became disheartened quickly as an episode he had written for the series was shot down. He would later use the script for an episode of Clerks, the animated series.
Okay.
O'Halloran and Anderson both auditioned for the role of Dante Hicks, as Anderson's part of Randall Grace from the film had already been filled by future SNL performer Jim Brewer. After seeing the results, Smith said it was terrible, and O'Halloran and Anderson said they were both glad they did not get the part.
Yeah, they dodged a bullet.
So I have seen it.
It's on YouTube. I watched like 10 minutes of it. I could not get through it. It was rough.
I just don't understand. I mean, that's the saddest part about it. Like, I understand how the movie industry works to a degree, but the fact that he does not own the rights to that movie or any of the characters except for Jay and Silent Bob is like it's sad for me.
It's a greedy world.
Well, it's also, he didn't have a whole lot of power at that point, so he had to he had to basically sell it.
He had to make money.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it, but it's like a shame that at some point, like once it makes so much or enough money for them that they can't give it back or negotiate some way for him to get that back, you know? But.
Well, I've noticed something similar with, like, even just buying the movie Dogma. If you go on the Secret Stash website, if you want to buy a DVD of Mallrats, it's like $18 or something like that, or $20. If you want to buy a copy of Dogma, it's like $75.
Yeah. Dogma is the most expensive movie of his to buy. It's very hard to find it on the cheap.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
You have to, honestly, I've seen it a number of times at like secondhand videos, like not video stores, but like where like a bookstore will sell DVDs.
Right.
I've seen them there a ton of times. So that's your best bet.
I actually have all the movies. I got mine where there was like a sale on Amazon or something, and I got it for like $15 on Blu-ray. So I've got mine, but that was the hardest for me to complete my collection. That was the hardest one for me to get my hands on. It really was. Now maybe something's changed recently, but it took me a while, and it was always expensive.
I'm still grateful I have my VHS of it.
Yeah, you and the VHSs.
Hey man, I'm branching out to DVDs. All right, give me some fucking credit.
Yeah, you're branching out to a format that died like 5 years ago, if not longer.
They're still making DVDs, so fuck you.
Yeah, well, weren't you the one arguing with me about not being able to get Solo for the store?
Well, we have it. So
on DVD, you were able to get it?
Yeah, we're still getting new DVDs. They're still making them. I think it was actually like it was Disney testing the waters of like, should we stop doing DVDs or should we just do Blu-rays and 4Ks? And then a lot of people were like, we still fucking have DVDs, so fuck you. So they said, oh shit, okay, well, let's still make DVDs. Okay,
so just not to get off on a whole thing, but I'm on Amazon right now. DVD of Dogma's $44, Blu-ray's $37.
Interesting.
Yeah.
37?
Yeah, right.
Can we talk about 37 for a second?
Yes, by all means.
All right.
How many dicks have you sucked, Mark?
Today?
37.
Are we talking about today or in my life?
Well, you said you started with one this morning, so let's start with that.
So that's one. Yeah, but
and then before you guys started filming on your end, it was 2.
Yeah.
Don't drag me into this.
But is it me or
I know you guys go way back.
Is it me or is 37 a lot for her age to go through?
Well, she's got to be like 20.
Yeah, she's like probably 20, 21, I would say.
Hey, look, we've lived in Jersey our entire lives, man. We know some promiscuous women.
Yeah.
So maybe not.
I mean,
but she doesn't. But she doesn't scream that she's promiscuous. You know what I mean?
True.
I'm with Mike here. Like,
yeah. Sure. I mean, when I was 22, I don't even think I kissed 37 girls.
No, I hadn't for sure.
Yeah, like so.
I still don't think I've kissed 37 girls.
Yeah, and benefit she is a girl, so obviously she can
it's
decide whether
it's easier for a girl to decide to do something than for a guy to try to pull it off.
But 37. I almost think it's like he's paying homage to the Holy Grail because he's like, I'm 37, and in the Holy Grail he's like, I'm 37. I'm not old. So,
oh yeah.
Why did he choose 37? I wonder why.
Yeah, does he ever?
It sounds good. It just sounds good.
Yeah, I mean it is a nice number.
37 just sounds like a great number. It could be the fact that we've attributed we made it more of a meaning than it really is.
Well, he's embraced it. Like if you like his jerseys all are 37.
That's true. So what is the 37? You think?
Well, the jerseys are just embracing it from the movie. So I think that one feeds the next.
Gotcha,
you know what I mean? Like he realizes that number is associated with him at this point.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
He does that. But why he chose it for the movie to begin with? That's a really interesting question. It could just be.
I wonder what number Wayne Gretzky was.
99.
99.
Always 99.
Okay, well then I'm wrong. I was like, maybe it's 37.
Plus his love.
You obviously tell how much of sports I don't know about.
Well, plus his love of Gretzky was long after Clerks. Like he liked hockey, but he wasn't like the Gretzky fan that he is until long after that took place. Yeah, he didn't get that until like post Red State, I think.
Oh, when he got high, I was watching the whole documentary about it.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. 37 sort of just, there's there was a Lucas produced movie called THX 1137.
1138.
Or is it 1138?
It's 1138.
Yeah. So fuck, maybe he was just like, well, it's not 1138, but it's 1137. I'll just call it 37. I don't know. I think he just wrote out a bunch of numbers and just said it out loud. Like 37 just sounds good.
Maybe. I mean, I just did a search on because I had the wiki open. I just did a search. There's nothing in here that indicates why that number was chosen. So, you know what, Rico? If we ever get into a Q&A with Rico, with Kev, I think that's what we need to ask him. Like, what is the origin of 37? Why was that number chosen?
My bigger question is, how the fuck did you remember 37 people in a span of like 5 seconds?
True.
Well, I mean, it's a movie.
That's a lot of.
Yeah, because she could have said, I don't know, maybe like 30?
Yeah.
30, 35? She came straight out and said 37.
Well, no, she straight out said 36.
Well, she said 36, yeah.
She 36, and he's like, 36? I'm 36. And she goes, oh, wait, 37.
Yeah.
37?
Yeah. I'm 37? Yeah, another great line. Try not to suck any dick on the way to the parking lot.
And the guy starts walking.
Yeah,
I've definitely yelled that at people before.
I got. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I saw a meme the other day, and I wanted to say it before I forgot it. It was roses are red, turtles are slow. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks in a row.
Oh, nice. So. Real quick, Mike, I told you that Rico and I actually met on a Kevin Smith fan board.
Right.
And they've actually got a rule at this point where you're not allowed to post 37 jokes because there's been so many of them.
Okay.
Like, people just posting, like... What's that?
Like people showing their receipts and shit like
Yeah,
that. Like,
receipts
I'm
and
number 37.
Total, like I'm number 37, or the bill total $37 or whatever.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's got tiresome.
But see, I think if you're gonna run a fan board for Kevin Smith, you have to expect the 37 jokes. Like it's just a thing. So
I agree. I got another question for you guys.
Yeah.
When the girl is waiting for Randall to open up the video store, you remember what movie she wants to rent?
Dental School.
Yeah.
What
genre of movie is Dental School?
Yeah.
I will look it up.
No, what do you think?
I think it's just a 1980s comedy movie, like Ski Patrol or one of those. One of those. No, I love it too, but it's.
I think it's to me. It sounds like a horror film.
So, I agree.
Like,
there's no movie called Dental School coming up.
Oh no, it's totally made up for the movie. Obviously,
well, but see, there's other real movies they mention. Like one of my favorite lines from the whole movie is, "Ooh, Navy SEAL."
Yeah.
Like that's a real movie.
Yeah. But there is no cum gargling sluts. I tried.
The thunder for a minute. For someone who works at a video store, I do get this idiot fucking customer every fucking day. I have had that question of, do you have that movie with that guy that came out last year? And I'm like, give me more, buddy. Oh, well, I think it won awards. I'm like, okay, that helps. Give me more. I'm like, well, these are all the movies that came out like that won awards in 2017. Oh no, I remember it was fucking Navy SEALs. I'm like, oh, okay, you were way the fuck off. Like that shit happens all the time to me every day.
I believe it.
To the point where I'm just like I have to play a fucking question game every single time. They're like, oh, I saw a trailer for a movie from a movie I rented last night. I'm like, okay, what was the trailer? What was the title? I don't remember. Can you put this movie in on the screen so I can watch the trailer? I'm like, no. Why not? Because what you want me to put on this big screen TV is a fucking R-rated movie, and there's children inside. So no, I'm not gonna do that.
Well, is it a customer or your boss? Because it sounds like the same thing.
Well, both aren't exactly intelligent, so I can't fucking.
Anyway, before we get too far off the first one, there is one thing we should give some love to, and that is Lisa Spoonhour, who we lost 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she fought cancer and unfortunately lost the battle. So
really young.
Yeah, she was like 41 or something like that. Like I'll pull it up right now, but.
Who was her character in the movie?
Caitlin.
Oh, she was Caitlin. Okay.
Yeah.
And she was Jeff Anderson's wife at one point.
Yeah, they were. Did they? No, I thought he married the other Veronica.
I thought he married Caitlin.
You might be right. Hold on. She was 44.
God.
Actually, she died of an overdose.
She did?
Not like illegal drugs. It looks like it was a drug she was taking to fight the cancer, and they overdid it.
Oh shit!
At least according to the wiki.
That's too bad.
Yeah, totally. It sucks no matter what, no matter how. But
I want was she married to Jeff?
Yeah, she was for a year, 98 to 99. So you're right. So, what's that?
I was just thinking of the rest of the. I thought Kevin Smith had put in a reference to Marilyn. I mean, I'm trying to remember how to pronounce her name properly because I always thought it was Gelati.
No, it's like Gigliotti or something like that.
That's what throws me off because in Jersey Girl, fucking Affleck's character goes to try to work at a firm called Gelati's. I thought he was making a reference to Marilyn Gelati, but then he pronounces it as Gigliotti. I'm like, what the fuck is that kind of fucking last name?
Well,
I'm Italian. I never would have figured that one out.
It's, and I know it's not where you were going, but you brought up an interesting thing that I think Kevin's always done through the movies and there's always some variation of Dante's relatives in a different movie. Because in Mallrats, you have Gil Hicks.
Was he on the dating?
Grant?
Yeah, he's the guy from the dating one. Yep. And then I forget.
Grant.
Grant, when that was the guy that
Dogma.
what's that?
He's the news anchor in
The news anchor.
Dogma.
But there's also the guy that it's him and Damon, and I think it's a Hicks. I know it's the guy who played Dante playing the character, but I think he's playing a different Hicks. And it's him and Damon when Affleck and Jason Lee go to pitch Batman and Chronic, the animated series.
I don't know if he's a Hicks. I think I'll have to double check that, but I don't think he's a Hicks.
I could be wrong.
I'll look it up.
But Kevin does that throughout all of those movies. Like, there's always some kind of reference back to those moments or those characters, and I think that's always a cool thing that he does. So
He's just adding to the universe, you know?
right, the Askew universe, as he calls it.
I love it when he will make a reference of a character's name in passing, and it'll be the actor that played that character in a previous movie playing someone different. Like, for example, when Affleck and Joey Lauren Adams are breaking up at the hockey rink,
Yep.
and in Chasing Amy, she goes on her whole rant about how she had sex with Gwen, and then so she's making a character reference to the previous character that she played in Mallrats.
Right.
And she also talks about Shannon Hamilton, which is also Ben Affleck's previous character. So she's talking about how she had a three-way with Ben Affleck and herself.
Basically.
Like, weird, crazy shit how she does it.
Oh, yeah. He does that kind of stuff all the time. It's just a fun thing that he does, and I love it. You know? So
Tarantino does that, too. Tarantino will have,
Tarantino does the same thing, too, with Vince Vega and Victor Vega.
Yeah.
The John Travolta character, and the Reservoir Dogs. Michael Madsen, yeah.
Oh, that's right. They're related, aren't they? Aren't they?
Yeah,
like,
they're brothers.
Yeah. Okay.
He was going to make a movie called Double V Vega, or just known as the Vega Brothers.
Yeah.
But then they both got too, like, older and fat, and plus both their characters are dead. Spoilers.
I thought it was going to be more like a prequel, though. Like, they were going to be like the younger brothers or whatever.
I think that's his point. The actors got too old to be able to do that, and Tarantino's not one to recast. So
I did hear a theory that he may make another set of brothers, like maybe there's 4 Vega brothers, or he may make some cousins. But he's also been talking about making a Kill Bill 3 for fucking ever.
Yeah.
So.
He talked about making the Kill Bill 3 when the first one came out. Well, the first 2, technically.
Right.
Yeah.
But he said he was going to revisit like 15 years, and obviously it's been longer than 15 years.
Well, he was the theory that I'd heard was he was waiting for the actress, that little girl, to grow up.
Veronica,
Vivica Fox.
Vivica Fox, yeah.
Yeah, Vivica Fox's daughter from the movie to grow up to go after Beatrix. And I don't know if maybe something fell through or he's just got tied up with other stuff. I don't know. Yeah. That I don't know. But
okay, so going back to the Hickses.
Yeah.
Dante has relatives named Grant, Jim, and Gil. So Jim might be the Chasing Amy one, but it doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't say.
Okay.
Still trying to find it.
Who is Jim Hicks?
I'm going to Google. I'll just say, Google, who is Jim Hicks? And then Google's be like, why?
See what comes. Right? So, I want to move over to 2 real quick because we've been on this for a while and stuff. But, see, and Mike and I were talking a little bit when you were doing your rebooting of the router and stuff or whatever, but we were talking and like, I might actually like 2 better than 1. I know that's probably blasphemy. What's that?
I agree.
You agree? And it's not that's not to say, as Kevin always says, to say I like 2 better is not to knock down 1. I'm not doing that to raise that or whatever. I just like the movie better. From the beginning, he flips open the shutter and the place is on fire. And, the transition from black and white to the color for that. But then Randall walks in, there's firefighters everywhere, there's smoke pouring out the door, and Randall just walks into the building like he would every day. And they, throw him out. And he stands there and he looks at Dante and goes, terrorists? Like,
and then it says, where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna fuck some girls when like my mom is home or something?
Yeah,
into that.
by the way, I love Randall the character, but he's a pedophile.
He's not a pedophile. He's definitely a creepy guy.
He's a statutory rapist at worst.
He's a statutory rapist. He's not that's a big difference. I mean, not huge, but it's still creepy.
Big difference. But I mean, like, you know, when he's talking about, you know, namely one 32-year-old who's as wild in bed as their 17-year-old counterpart, it's a little weird.
I don't understand how he still works at movies, if I'm really being honest.
Well, she says it. Dante's basically his shield. Because she said, remember,
Chase Tugami, executive Jim Hicks.
Woo!
That I had to figure this out. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because you remember at one point she says he's not going to last very long when you're not here to protect him anymore.
I don't understand how he was still there, even when Dante's like, look, say Randall is just saying off, like just talking about fucking 17-year-old girls.
Yeah.
How is Becky not like, what the fuck, dude? You're a criminal. I can't have you here.
Well, to be fair, she wasn't in the restaurant yet. It was just him and Dante.
But he's also, I mean, if it was, look, let me put it this way. If Clerks could not be made after the Me Too movement, because anybody would say, oh, the fact that he says, I mean, I hate to say it, but the fact that he says porch monkey, as well as having a sexually suggestive conversation about going ass to mouth with his female boss, that shit would not happen. She would have fired his ass. She's like, you are sexually harassing me, blah, blah, blah.
Well, if you remember when the slur happens, the whole slur scene, she goes, you're this close to being shit canned. She does yell that at him at one point.
Yeah. I'm saying most jobs would not even give him a warning.
No, I get that. Which, by the way, look, call me naive, but half those terms that they talk about in there, I'd never heard of before I watched the movie. Like the obvious ones I'd heard of. What's that?
Is it bad that I did?
I don't know if it's bad, but as long as you weren't using them, if you've been aware of them, that's one thing. If you're using them as part of your vernacular, that's another.
But I also was like 15 when Clerks 2 came out, so I knew all those words when I was 15.
Right. I
didn't say them.
Right.
But I definitely knew them.
Right. But I'm saying, I mean, the obvious ones I knew, but the one that he tries to take back, I'd never heard of it before then.
I don't. I think I knew exactly what it. I don't think I had heard it, but when he said it, I knew exactly what it meant.
Well, sure, me too, but I'm saying I'd never heard it, so until obviously once he said it, and I was able to put the pieces together pretty quickly, but yeah.
I took a little kid I was babysitting to see that movie. I'm starting to feel really bad about that.
Well, Rico, you were taking the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when you were, 9, right? 10?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're just...
But that's a parent fuck up.
The cycle.
I was babysitting a kid, and I was still a kid. I'm like, fuck it, let's go see a movie. And he wanted to go see, like, Superman Returns. I'm like, no, bullshit, we're going to see Clerks 2.
Yeah,
and this kid was, like, 8 years old or something, and I just opened up his world.
Yeah, you did.
He was 8? Seeing Clerks 2?
Something like that.
Wow.
Well, he was 9 seeing Strike Back, so...
Yeah.
You're just perpetuating this cycle, Rico, really.
Strike Back is probably the raunchiest of them all, probably, right?
Yeah.
It's tough to gauge,
it's tough to gauge. So, I can give you favorite scenes from 2 a lot easier than I can from 1, though. Like, my hands down, my favorite scene is when he makes the Lord of the Rings geek puke.
Oh, for fuck's sake, that's so good.
That is the best.
Speaking of which, I've always said if they ever made a movie about Tarantino, it should be that guy who puked.
Oh,
because he looks and sounds just like him.
Yeah. Absolutely. But you know who needs to direct a movie about Tarantino if they ever make it?
I mean, who?
Matty Granger.
Oh, for sure.
Matty Granger would need to direct the Tarantino biopic without question.
100%. it should start with him fucking like hip shotting
him into the bush.
Into the bush.
Did you hear those episodes yet?
The Granger ones? No, not yet.
No, all right. So Rico's friends with a guy who's actually worked in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
He was there when Hugh Jackman was hired as Wolverine.
Okay.
He's a font of stories, man. We turned on the recordings and just sat back and let him go. It was 3.5 hours of.
It's a 2-parter, right?
Yeah, I had to. It was just too. It's too overwhelming in one sit.
Yeah.
So we pulled it off, but there's just so he and his brother Mikey have done a there was a contest where you spoofed something from Pulp Fiction and you
or
potentially
Tarantino films.
What's that?
Or any Tarantino. It was either a satire of a Tarantino film or an homage or a spoof, but it had to be Tarantino something like.
I thought it was only Pulp.
No, because there were other ones that were the style of like Kill Bill.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, you had to do this thing, and now this is long after he'd done X-Men, I think, but he and his brother won.
No, it was around the same time.
About the same time? Okay. They spoofed the Royale with cheese, basically. That whole scene in the car with the Royale with cheese. They shot it from the French-Canadian side. So, do you know what they call a Royale with cheese in America? A quarter pounder.
Right,
that kind of thing. And they shot this thing one day, the day the thing was due. Like, they wrote it, shot it, and submitted it all on the same day, and won.
That's crazy.
And and he meets Tarantino, and they get a whole bunch of awards. He tells us, we ask him about that, and he's sharing the whole thing, and he goes, you know what the funniest part about that day was? And we're like, no, what? And he goes, 3 months earlier, I had hip check Quentin Tarantino into a bush at a bar. They were at some bar, and he's standing next to a bush, and he'd had a few drinks in him or whatever. And he felt someone trying to squeeze between him and the bush. Mm-hmm. No idea who it is, and so he just throws his hip at him and hip checks him into the bush. He turns around, and it's Tarantino.
On the ground or in the bush?
On the ground, in the bush.
That's
funny. And, fortunately, he says Tarantino didn't remember it was him.
He said there's a bush there.
Yeah, he says something. Yeah, the first thing he says to him is, there's a bush there.
He said that to Tarantino?
Yeah, first thing he said. Oh, so fucking funny.
And Tarantino said, that would have been nice to know 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, that was... But it turns out they end up, hanging out for, 45 minutes. He was really cool about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then, a couple months later, whatever it was, 6 months, whatever it was, he wins this award, and...
That's awesome.
And he meets him again, and he says, thankfully, he didn't remember. So...
I still think Marcellus Wallace's Best Day Ever or whatever is.
Yeah,
is
they did a couple. They did a couple different spoofs.
Okay,
yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
They had filmed one earlier, which was the POV of Marcellus Wallace the day he gets fucking hit by the car and the day he's trying to shoot Butch.
Okay,
leading up to where Butch runs into him with the car.
Right,
it leads up to that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's my Matty Granger narrating.
I know where you're going.
The POV. I gotta tell him.
I know you.
It's like, okay, it's a great day to be Marcellus Wallace. Look at this beautiful LA day. And just walk around, he sees a dog, he's like, oh, hello, doggy. You cute little motherfucker. And then he goes...
No, wait, real quick.
Like, oh, look.
Real quick, so just to refresh your memory on Pulp Fiction itself, do you know when he gets hit?
He's got donuts and...
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Rico.
So he right before that, he goes into a donut shop, and they give him donuts, and he says, thanks for the donuts, motherfucker. Which is maybe one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard in my entire life. Because you never expect it, and then when you hear it, you're like, that is so what Marcellus Wallace would say.
So funny.
Thanks for the donuts, motherfucker.
And the clip ends with them splicing in the actual scene from Pulp Fiction where it's from Butch's point of view, and he looks at Marcellus and then slams on the gas and hits him, and then it fades to black, and that's the end of the clip.
They should have had him go into a store and get a Band-Aids, a box of Band-Aids or something like that.
He goes to a couple stores before he gets to the donuts. It's not just Great Day Donuts car. He goes around and look at that dog. That's one of the things. It's oh my god, it is funny.
He sees a flower. He's like, oh, look at this. It's a lone flower, kind of like me.
Yeah, it's
Maybe I need a break from this before I pop a cap in his ass.
There's something wrong with Matty Granger in the best possible way. Like, he's for someone who works in industry, one of the nicest guys I've talked to. He really was open with us, and we really had a great interview. And I don't know how did I get on Matty Granger? I brought it up. Oh, because of Tarantino. He should be directing the Tarantino
biopic,
because you said the guy reminds you of him. But that whole sequence of Jedi versus or Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Mike?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I mean, like the last time I saw Clerks 2 was probably like 5 years ago. So it's been a while for me.
Right, because and the best addition to the Clerks universe is Elias. That really was a great addition to the Clerks universe.
Okay, if you want to talk about connections, what is Elias's last name?
Furman. Oh, no, that's the actor's last name. I don't know. What is Elias's last name?
Grover. So
Okay.
who else has the last name Grover in the US universe?
Grover. Shit. I don't know.
Walt the Fanboy Grover.
Oh, shit.
So he's like Walt's like cousin or little brother or something like that.
That's insane.
That is insane. Well, I'll give you some real life trivia. What's the connection between Clerks 2 and Mallrats?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What's the connection?
There's a real life connection between Clerks 2 and Mallrats. So not script, not movie, not story. Real life connection.
I don't know what you're alluding to. I probably know what you're trying to, but I'm not.
All right, well, I'm not phrasing it well. I apologize, but Elias is married to Trish to Dish.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, because they plucked him out of nowhere. I was like, who the fuck is this new guy? I mean, he's funny. I'll give you one even better. They're making a fucking video game on the phone, like it's like Jay and Silent Bob.
No, it's not the phone. It's a PC title.
Oh, it was on Android and everything. They're trying to make a fucking app game.
It's not just an app game. It might be an app game too, but it's also going to be on. Believe me, I've crowdfunded it. I've got money in this game.
Well, so one of you basically paid fucking Elias because one of the creators is one of the creators of the game.
I know. Kevin's the one that shot the video for the thing. Yeah, Rico, I'll show you right here. Look, I'm gonna share the screen with you here. Mike, I'm sorry, you'll just have to envision in your head, or if you want to walk around, that's up to you. But here's the game. There's Dante fighting, and there's Jay, and there's Bob. And here's on the side here, you have the different levels of supporters. So if you supported $5, you were in a nickel bag award level. And then supporter of Dope Games. 18 was the early bird. So I got into the 20. I gave him $20. So I'm in. Actually, no, I think I might be in the 18. I think I'm in the 18 one. So I'll get an early free copy of the game on my PC when it comes out later this year, actually, according to this. And my name will be in the credits. So nice. I'm excited about that.
I think it's funny they give you a reward called a nickel bag.
Yeah,
because it makes me think of the ringtone that I set up for you.
Yeah, that's true. You haven't heard it yet because it's on the New Year's episode, but he put a whole bunch of custom ringtones for a bunch of people on his phone. Mm-hmm. When I call him, it's Jay doing the $15, little man. Put that shit in my hand.
Nice.
Let's see, there's Mallrat, the $35, the Amy Chaser, Let's Get Physical. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool throwbacks in Clerks 2 that I really enjoyed. Like there are in any of his movies, but like the jail scene when they're talking about trying to buy the Quick Stop and reopen it themselves. And
that's a good ending for, what it was. That they purchased the Quick Stop, open it up, and then it's theirs, so.
Right, I agree. But the one point he says, like Dante says, well, we need like $50,000 to do something like that. Where are we going to get that kind of money? And Jay's like, we do. Because it comes from all the money they got from Blumman and Chronic. From Blumman and Chronic.
Okay, right.
Because it's one of the... Would you say, Rico, it's the second longest monologue Kev's got in any of the movies as Silent Bob when he's arguing about the financial responsibility that Banky owes them? And
Oh yeah.
Is that the second longest or the longest, do you think?
That's the second longest. I would say Chasing Amy is so longest.
That would be my thought too, but I was just curious if you thought differently. But He,
Hey, I want to ask you both this.
Sure.
Have you guys seen this movie?
I've not seen the movie, but I've seen the extras. The extras are good. I heard the movie was shit. The movie's you can't see it. It's comic book the movie.
Okay. Comic book the movie?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's I haven't seen it, but it's
look at this dais.
Yeah, it's a heavy dais. Because it's a fictional movie, isn't it? It's not like it's a
I haven't seen it. From what I understand, Mark Hamill plays a documentarian.
Yeah, but it's a mockumentary.
Goes to a convention.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a mockumentary because it's a scripted documentary thing.
Yeah, like your Spinal Tap-esque kind of movie.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, but it's about Comic-Con and comic books, but it's not making fun of as much as just paying homage in a fun way. But from what I understand, it's not very good. The movie itself is not very good, but the extras are, a lot of them actually, like there's one on there, Rico, there's one on there you'll love. I've seen it. It's all about voice actors, and it's a guy who plays Pinky and the Brain and Donatello from the cartoon, and all these, like, it's a panel of...
Maurice LaMarche?
I might be wrong, Rico. Don't hold me to the characters, but like it's a bunch of like heavy hitters, and it's one of the extras on
it's Billy West, Tom Kenny. Yeah. Billy West and Tom Kenny. I know those names. So.
Yeah, there's more. It's a list of like 6 people, and they do a panel discussion. It's really, really good, and I know you're really into that voice acting stuff, so you'll really enjoy that.
Yeah.
So
I'll probably just watch. I'll watch the movie, but I'm interested because Stan Lee and Kevin Smith are also in it.
Yeah, let me know. I mean, I didn't see the movie. I was told by someone I trust that it's not worth watching. But he only bought it for the extras because he knew the extras were as good as they are.
When did it come out?
Oh, it's years ago. Rico, what's the year on it?
Mark Hamill narrates the whole movie.
He's an actor in it, actually.
Oh, he's an actor,
right? So
he's in it, and he directed it.
Right.
Oh,
I was
wow.
going to say that. Yeah, and the character he plays is the guy going to these cons to do the documentary.
Okay.
And for those who can't see me, since we're in an audio medium, I'm doing air quotes. But yeah, it's so it's not a real documentary, but it's him. Yeah.
I'll check it out. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you guys do that. I have no intent. I trust the person who told me it was terrible implicitly, and this guy is a huge Star Wars Hamill fan, and if he's telling me it's terrible, it's probably pretty bad. So, so Rico, real quick, going back to the game, I was telling...
2004.
What's that?
It's from 2004.
2004. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's been out for a while.
Yeah.
I was telling Mike while you were stepped away for a minute that one of the cool things about the game is it's a side-scrolling. The Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch is the name of the game, and it's a side-scrolling fighter. But there's also moments where it'll go from the standard fighting to you'll have to pick a phrase Jay says, and the enemy will say something back, and you'll go back and forth picking dialogue, and whoever picks the dialogue more damaging wins. So there's a portion where you've got Jay like being Jay. And I don't know if this is true, but I heard a rumor that there's going to be like a super move where you get like the one Bob line. Like that'll be like the finisher if you need it. Like it'll be that,
Yeah. He'll say no ticket.
Right, something to that effect, right. I love Bob's lines in any of the movies. Like that one, there's not one that's bad. Even in Clerks 2. Because you know what, Rico? I've even used it on the post-credit scene where he's like, I've got nothing. But what I forget is there's more to that scene. Like I use that part of it, and that's fine. But Jay hits him back immediately, like, Jesus Christ, what's good? What good are you, motherfucker? You can tell that Amy story all the fucking time.
You mute fuck.
Right, and then he turns back, but that's when Bob goes nuts, and he flips back on Jay and goes, what do you always bring to the conversation, man? You always got one answer for everything. Pussy, man, that's it. One answer for everything. And it just moves on, and it's finally Bob, unleashing.
It's the Bob we've never seen.
And the deleted scene is that he's just like, dude, like, you are definitely a repressed gay man. Like, stop fucking, like, fighting it.
What, Jay or Bob?
There's a deleted scene for Clerks 2 where Bob says to Jay, like, you are definitely a repressed gay man. Stop fighting it.
Yeah, I could see that. I know your favorite line, Rico, from any of Bob's lines is from Strike Back. I thought, right?
Let me hear it.
The sign on the back of the car says "Critters from Hollywood, you dumb fuck." But he's like screaming at the top of his lungs in Jay's face. That's your favorite, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought
that's
so.
great.
It's so good. Anyway, we haven't really touched on the animated, but like honestly, I don't think I'd be able to do it justice because
I wouldn't either because it's been years since I've seen it. I know Alec Baldwin's in it.
Yeah, so let's go over into that part of it because the heavy hitters that were in this show for the 2 that aired and the 6 that were created.
Yeah. Leonardo, played by Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Very crazy.
I read Alec Baldwin was originally supposed to have a cameo as Randall's dad.
Okay.
In one of the movies.
In the movie? Okay.
He was supposed to show up in Clerks 2, but he said, no, he just didn't have the time or whatever. They just didn't put him in.
Yeah, so you've got everyone playing their typical people, Randall, Jay, Dante, whatever. But then, like you mentioned, Alec Baldwin is Leonardo, Charles Barkley as himself, which I think is great.
I think he has like one line. It's like one word line, too.
I think he's got 3 total, but they're all
really?
words. Okay. Yeah, like you're talking about. By the way, Rico, because you and I are a little more familiar, and then you get Walt as Fanboy and Brian Johnson as Steve Dave, but where's another one? Oh, so Gilbert Gottfried plays Jerry Seinfeld and Patrick Swayze. I thought that was hysterical.
Oh, God.
Brian Posehn's in the first episode, too.
Brian Posehn's in it. Dana Gold.
Carrie Kinney from The State.
Yep, she's in it. Phil Lamar, who's just a well-known voice actor.
Judge Reinhold.
Judge Reinhold shows up, yep, as Judge Reinhold.
Yep.
Rico, the one you'll appreciate is, honestly, there's a guy that shows up, he's a narrator, and his name is Kevin Michael Richardson, but I swear to God, it sounds like Bernardin. I thought it was Mark Bernardin the first time I heard it. I actually had to look it up.
Kevin Michael Richardson is the cop who says, "Porch monkey!" in Clerks 2.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah.
And he was also the voice of the Joker in the Batman, the one that looks like the fucking jester clown, the with like dreadlocks, looks like a monkey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But Dan Patrick's in this, Michael Buffer, Reggie Miller, Michael McKean, oh shit, where did it go? Mike Machine, Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Al Franken, Paul Dini.
Well, I knew Bryan Cranston was a voice actor in the late 80s, early 90s, but I didn't know he was on Clerks.
Yeah, and he's listed as various. Like, he didn't have any, like, real major role from what I can see.
He, his biggest known to fame before he was in Malcolm in the Middle and Breaking Bad was, he voiced, like, various villains in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That makes sense.
To the point where they were so thankful that they actually named the character Billy Cranston, after Bryan Cranston.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're getting short on you need to get moving, Mike. So the last thing I want to kind of touch on, instead of I just don't want to do disservice to the animated series. So maybe we revisit that at some point down the road when we all have had a chance to kind of rewatch it. Mike, you can come back or whatever.
Sure, I'd love to.
But
did you guys watch The Flying Car? Did we talk about it?
No, we didn't. So we shouldn't. But I do want to talk about the movie that won't be, and that's Clerks 3.
It's definitely not happening?
It's not happening.
Okay.
Or at least...
Because he doesn't own the rights.
What's that?
He doesn't own the rights.
Well, it's not that he didn't have the rights. He got Weinstein to agree with it. Now, that was pre-Me Too, so I'm sure that has something to do with it, too. But the primary reason this movie wasn't being made is Jeff Anderson didn't want to do it.
Yeah, Jeff Anderson. He didn't want to do Clerks 2.
And he got dragged kicking and screaming into it. And he's actually said it's his favorite movie he's ever made. So he thought he'd be all over
that's
it.
like one of four.
But according to Kev, the whole movie centers around Randall. Like the first two movies centered around Dante. The third one apparently centers around
I would say
Randall.
Clerks 2 is Randall's movie.
It's Randall's movie, but the story arc centers around Dante. If you think about it, I agree with you. It's Randall.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, the Randall steals that movie hands down, but the story arc is Dante's. So I
can agree with that.
Yeah, and the fact that Jeff doesn't want to do it is sad because, and it's not because he needs to be pigeonholed into one character or any of that kind of stuff. It's just he's so good at it. Like I don't think anyone else could play Randall. I don't think anyone should play Randall, but I don't think anyone could even if they tried to. Not as well.
Yeah, not Jim Brewer.
Oh God, I need to watch that after this. I do.
If you can make it through it, kudos to you.
You know what,
You'll
Rico?
last 10 minutes.
Part of the 37th episode, we'll do the flying car. Mike, if you're here or not, we'll do it just because I think that'll be a good way to handle. And then we'll do what you said. We'll watch one of the movies and live commentary it or whatever.
Cool.
So that way we give Chris his request because he did ask us to make sure we talked about the flying car, and unfortunately we're just running out of time. And honestly, I haven't seen it.
Technically, we are talking about the flying car. We just didn't talk about enough about it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the way I think he wanted us to talk about it, but we will honor that request because we have 3 fans now, or 4. I think we're up to 4 now. So I want to make sure, we keep the 4 that we have.
That's right.
So Mike, let's before we get this out of here, let's talk a little bit more about why you came on. Besides the fact of being a fan, there's a reason you came to check this out. Do you want to get into that a little bit, or?
Yeah, I'm just I've just been getting into podcasts, so I might want to start my own show, a little farther down the road. So this is pretty much just practice for me.
Yeah,
breaking my
popping your cherry.
Yeah.
I've always said I'd pop cherries. I just thought it'd be women's. But anyway, what are you going to do?
Yeah, so thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. I had a great time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Anytime you want to come back, feel free. We like having guests. Rico and I like talking to each other, but we do enjoy having a third or fourth or fifth voice. You may or may not heard we're doing a roundtable soon, and we're going to have a plethora of guests for that one, so it'll be interesting. I'll fill you in details on that later, but yeah, so thanks for coming on. Anything we can do to help you with your show, let us know.
Definitely.
Promote it or whatever, or jump on ourselves or whatever. But Rico, what do you think? How did it come out?
Apart from the many interruptions of my internet connection, it's not great.
Well,
no, the only thing I would add is what we would say because I would want to talk about the flying car, because I always kind of look at it like, those Marvel one-shots, those little shorts they did?
Yeah.
It's essentially the same thing.
Okay. Well, like I said, we'll circle back and visit that on episode 37. We're not that far away, so it's not like it's a year from now.
It's true. Jesus Christ.
We're literally 4 episodes away at this point. So
yeah.
So we'll come back to that soon. Next month, really. So, well, thank you everybody for listening. We always appreciate it. First episode of 2019 started off with a bang. We ended 31 with a bang. Christ, that New Year's episode was painful.
Yeah, thing in your mouth, you sick fuck.
That was a way to end it. But hey, start 2019 with a Clerks episode, so why not? Okay. I thought you were gonna say something, Rico.
I thought I ended it perfectly, and then just kept going.
Sorry. I will say this: just try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot. CJ here with a few thank yous and to let you know how you can get in touch with and follow the show and us. For PodAskew, go to iTunes, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts on your iPhone, and Google Play Music on your Android phone to listen to, subscribe, rate, and comment on the show. or the Listen Notes podcast search engine at www.listennotes.com. Go there, type in PodAskew, all one word, and you can stream us right there. If you want to agree with or yell at us directly, follow Rico, me, and the show on Twitter. The show is at PodAskew, Rico is at RantsRico, and I'm at M_Blade. If you need to contact the show for promotional reasons, tweet Stephanie at PodAskewPR. Check out Rico's YouTube channel, Rico's Rants, on YouTube at www.youtube.com/Rico's Rants. Thank you to Dubbed in English for our opening theme music, 96 Reasons. They're no longer online, but you can contact me for a copy of the full song or the whole Plan 9 EP. Thank you to Samuel Lemons for our closing music, Theme Askew. You can find his music on SoundCloud at www.soundcloud.com/Samuel-Lemons. Finally, our biggest thank you is to you, everyone, for listening. Rico and I really appreciate your time and look forward to bringing you another episode soon.
You're closed.
What, did you forget something? Oh, I'm sorry, we're closed.
Damn it! PodAskew. 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 PodAskew.